Aquarius.
Hello everyone, it is a new month and it's good to see you here as always. And before we start today, I would just like to thank you all for sharing. Our site is growing and I totally appreciate that, and all your comments, your feedback, your emails. Even though I may not have time to go in and respond to all of them, I do read them, so thank you for that. Now, also before we proceed, I have created a little tune which is for healing, and that in mind I have those that went down on the Malaysian jet, those who crossed over the Rainbow Bridge, and for their family members who have lost their loved ones, also the ferry boat that capsized with all those children in it. And most of us, we are mothers, you know, and as females, even for those of you who have no children, we are natural born healers. It's within our natures. And don't get me wrong, I also have a good percentage of you men too, so you're absolutely welcome to participate. But I would like to ask you to take a moment to listen to this, and while you close your eyes and allow your hearts to open and send forth that healing energy, both to those who have departed, but also to those family members who are left back, and the hurt that they're feeling. So I thought I'd do this month. You'll find a button so you can just click through, listen, and then come back, and we shall see what's up for you here now this month. Hello Aquarius, this is your forecast for June 2014, and this should be a very fun month for you as the sun is touring through Gemini, but through your house of playfulness. It's the 5th house of creativity, self-expression, where you can do a lot of creative projects, spend more time perhaps with children or the grandchildren if you have them, and find out a whole lot of fun things to do that they will appreciate. And not only that, but it's like you're being able to bring that inner child out from yourself too in the interaction here. Now, in any of the arts or anything that you express there, your talents, your skills, well, watch them come out. And it's more in a hobby form base rather than a career form base. However, though, if you're thinking of working on any creative projects, collaborations and so forth, great time to do that, as the sun here will inspire you to think creatively, you know, and bring up new thoughts, brainstorming in this area. And especially because we're going to have a revisit of Mercury coming back to us. It will retrograde here this month on the 7th, so it will start out there, you know, in the sign of Cancer, but then on the 7th. But then on the 17th, it's going to return back into this 5th house. So that will allow you more time to you know, when everything is moving forward and the planets are direct, we're so focused on the here and now and moving forward that we might have great ideas that we think, yeah, I need to check into that. And then we forget it because, you know, we're heading that direction. But the retrograde, that's what I love about the retrogrades, will allow you to kind of go back and revisit maybe some of those very creative 5th house thoughts that you had, to kind of rethink them, retweak them, kind of work them back into whatever project you have, and you will see how this is going to enhance it in the outcome, all right? So it might delay a little bit you moving forward on it, but see that delay as a blessing in disguise, all right? And you will see exactly what I mean when you come down the road. Now, this retrograde will be until July 1st, so you have like the whole month to work on this. So let's talk a little bit about Mars, though, because Mars has been doing its journey here for many months. Normally it takes 6 weeks. And this time around, it's been like 8 months, you know, until it's fully done here, touring Libra. But it went direct here on May 19th, and so now she's picking up speed little by little. And the area for you it's in, it's the 9th house of higher understanding. It's travel, it's relating to people in faraway places, cultures, languages, or also you studying or researching. So whatever it is for you personally, I can't see that because I don't have your natal chart here, but I do see that there's been something driving you, a force, a dynamic need to know something. And this has been putting you on this quest. And so yes, in that retro from throughout March, April, and 3 weeks of May, it gave you some insights that you wouldn't have had if the planet just zoomed past this 9th house in 6 weeks. You will never have achieved the depth and the body of knowledge that you now sit with. Okay, so now we can be happy because now she's picking up speed, and you're embracing that whole body now of knowledge that you have. And this is really setting you up for what's going to happen a little bit later when Mars meets you in the 10th house of career. Everything that you've picked up along the way right now, this is going to be like a rocket booster for you in your career down the road. But we're going to talk about that in the months coming. But speaking of career, right now Saturn has been conditioning you and setting things straight, having you, I won't say, yeah, well, maybe it has been challenging, but I see it as a positive, and I hope you see it as a positive challenge too, because, you know, you only get this chance once every 28 years, and this is where Saturn is right now, and it too will be moving direct here shortly. This will be from next month, from July 21st. So right now it's kind of going back over, working on your subconscious levels, trying to really get in touch with that younger you 28 years ago. What were your dreams back then? You know, what have you achieved now in this cycle? You know, because you're setting yourself up now to work a new 28, 29 year cycle. So try to talk to your past self and see how you've balanced and leveled up things. Have you lived up to your dreams and aspirations? If not, this is the time to start tweaking and positioning yourself, because when Saturn picks up speed, you know, he's only going to be here, you know, until autumn, and then out of your career house. So the pressure is good pressure. May not always be felt like that, you know, in the now, but it takes pressure to create diamonds. So you are creating your own inner diamond. You're buffering those facets. So, you know, be happy for it. We have the full moon in your 11th house. That's hopes, dreams, and wishes. So that's going to be on the 13th. So something here in this area. It also rules, of course, social networks, groups and organizations. So this would be a great date for you to go out and join some group or affiliation, sign up for it, or have a get-together potluck with friends and just share. You know, a lot of warm feelings here because this full moon is going to be in Sagittarius. So spirits are going to be high. You know, the Sagittarian sense of humor and joy and joviality. It's like, yeah, fun night here on the 13th. So then we have Pluto working at your subconsciousness. We've spoken about that a little bit every month. Not too much to say about it right now, except for a couple of transits I'm going to mention when we go through the calendar here. But yeah, I think, you know, I want to spend a little time on this 6th house right now, because you have Jupiter there and then the new moon, you know, and we always look to the new moon and the seeds that we can plant there. And the 6th house has to do with your day-to-day work, you know, whether, you know, in the career field or at home, it's work regardless. It's like, how streamlined is it? What needs to be uncluttered? This is a perfect time for you to clear off everything. And you know how we do that every once in a while? We'll do a big clean. And then it's like, we feel so good afterwards. And for you right now, it's like putting down the intention. It's like, okay, I want to keep it this way. Not just clean it and then have it messed up. I want to keep it this way. Why? Because it's so much easier to think and be organized when you don't have clutter that's calling at you, and where you see it, it's like, oh yeah, need to do that, right? It steals energy, you know, our aura. It leaks energy towards those places where clutter is, whether it's, you know, at your office or if it's at home. It will steal that energy. It's asking to be cleaned, right? And if you just look at it and do nothing, well, for every time you look at it, there's that outlet of energy. So clean it and make that promise, that affirmation. I'm going to keep it this way. Why? Because now I'm that much more efficient, and I'm streamlining my time that much more efficiently. And then we're ahead of the game. And anytime we're ahead of the game, not lagging, boy, do we feel good and powerful. That is the message of this new moon for you. And you know what? The beauty of it is that the new moon is there also with Jupiter in this area. Now, yes, we have a new moon in each area once, you know, a year. So it's going to be a full year before you get the chance to refine this. But next year, Jupiter is not going to be here. So Jupiter right now is the super booster to really make whatever intention clear that you're asking. It's like rubbing that genie, right? And having this genie come out and give you exactly those things that you need right now. And also the 6th house is all about dieting. It's your health. And, you know, are you working out enough, or is it too little? You know, should you do this? Should you do that? Jupiter can help you if you make the choice to really get on with it on a good regime. But then Jupiter, if you're not using it, but allowing it to use you, well, Jupiter can also equally put on a lot of weight, okay? Because Jupiter loves everything that's big, you know, it will eat a lot, and then volume will grow that way. But if you use it right, you can really do good. And you know, you only have it here for another month or so, here end of July. Then Jupiter is going to be done. You know, you've had a whole year to perfect this area of your life, and then it's going to move on. So here, which you'll see in next month's forecast, we'll be talking about the new area of Jupiter, which will be moving into your 7th house of love and relationships. So we're going to see how that's going to grow for the coming year for you. So we have Neptune, 2nd house, turning retrograde this month, Aquarius, and it will be retrograde here from June 10th to that of November 16th. So you're going to have quite a bit of time to act upon it, but these outer planets, they're so subtle in their energy. They're not like Mars or, you know, Venus, the conscious planets. They work on our subconsciousness subtly and very slowly, because they got very long, normally like a 5-month period of their retrograde. But in your 2nd house, what is it going to do there now? Neptune is like it's the ocean, right? But try to hold water, you know, it's there 1 second, then it just runs through your fingers. Having Neptune in your 2nd house, it's like holding money in your hand and then it's just running out. It's like here today and gone tomorrow. What happened? So in this Neptune retrograde phase, it's more asking you to kind of look at what is money for you, the substance of money. What value does it hold? And what value within yourself, your own self-esteem, how does that feel these days? This is where Neptune is trying to sensitize you to another type of materialism, if you will. If money rules materialism in the 3D world, Neptune has the higher octave of money. You know, it's more the cosmic energy. So you're starting to see what's filtering through is not just money. There's more to life than money itself. It's the spiritual values that we harness, that we take in, that we grow in our consciousness. It's aligning our chakras, becoming more and fuller of who we are. Now, that is what Neptune really wants you to see, even though you might see how money comes and goes. But it's also to teach you to trust the money. When you need it, it's going to be there. Okay? It's more like wanting to heighten your perception on what true values are, the long-lasting from one lifetime into the other, the eternal values. not as much as money values. So this retrograde is going to take you back to certain situations in your life where you could see that Neptune was working for you, even though it wasn't in this area, right? But where you can see the challenges of those situations coming back to you now and saying, wow, that was profound. You know, I must have had help, guidance, something, you know, that helped me through. And when you can see how the money was for you there in the past when you didn't know where it would come from, then you could see you survived. You know, so why stress? Why stress about the money? It will be there. Your needs are always met. And the more you can let go out of the fear of not having enough, the more you will see will come to you without having to struggle for it. And this, I think, is the higher message here for Neptune in this placement for you, is that I trust the flow. Money comes to me. I don't have to chase it. It just comes to me. So this retrograde will help you look back at those situations where you knew you were saved at the grace of the moment, 5 minutes to 12 before a bill needed to be paid. Where did the money come from? It just appeared, right? Somehow, some way. And it will continue to do this. So you're lifting and rising as far as consciousness of what money or value really is, okay? So, let's see, full moon we have here, we mentioned that, the new moon we talked about, so let's talk about the dates of what you can expect here this month here, Aquarius. Now, June 4th, we have Venus and Neptune. Venus rules love, Neptune the higher love, it's the higher octave, so it's a very romantic evening here on the 4th, so for you in a relationship, it should be extra, extra nice on this day and evening. And for those of you single, well, don't sit at home. Be out and about, socialize, and see what happens, because right now you're a magnet on the 4th. And then on the 6th, you could be surprised out of the blue, some unexpected news, insight, and for you it's going to be between the 3rd and the 5th house. So this could be some communication coming from siblings or somebody nearby, or if you have some applications in, you can get some response from an application that has to do with something now that is quite creative, 5th house related. Mercury on the 7th going retrograde, and on the 8th, here's another good date to mark on your calendar. This is now Venus and Pluto in a beautiful trine, which is very passionate, it's very deep and intense. Your house, it's going to be here between the 12th and the 4th house. So there's both of these houses are you on the inside, all right? They're not external houses. It's how you perceive yourself subconsciously, spiritually. Then the 4th house having to do with family, roots in the past. So right here, there's a merging of something so intense, so beautiful, so healing and transforming. You might just have a very strong spiritual déjà vu or merging coming together. And also, it could just be you and at home having a wonderful, intense, beautiful evening there on the 8th. Neptune going retrograde on the 9th, you know, until November 16th. Then we have a couple of dates we want to be a little bit alerted of. It's Venus and Saturn being opposed to one another on the 12th. It has to do with money, has to do with how we're using our money. But for you, it's between the 4th and 10th house. So family and home, or family members, versus that of career and time. You know, it's like, where are we spending our time? Maybe you're just going to feel like you're stretched, you know, between a rock and a hard place, that they're needing you on both ends, very much so on this date, that maybe some schedules could collide and might be a little frustrating. But then on the 14th, Mars and Pluto will be at odds, so we might have a little disagreement with someone, or someone with us. This is between the 9th house and the 12th house. Yeah, Mars rules men, so they might just be a little bit more agitated, or it could also be some frustration here within you too, especially if you've tried to speak your highest truth. That's the 9th house. expressing what is important to you, and now Mars is moving direct, right? And after all this time that you've been trying to, relate this to those around you, if they're not seeing it or haven't really got the message, you might express that here on this date because you're seeking respect for the need that you have or the understanding you have come to, and you're not wanting to have to put yourself in a place of needing to defend it. For you, it's this is who I am right now, and this is what I need. I want to make myself clear. So that could be you or somebody coming to you saying it. It could go both ways. If you're out and about traveling, Pluto being retrograde, there could be some delays perhaps here, also just because Mercury also is retrograde. So that could be, something that could create a little bit of frustration here between Mars and Pluto too, especially because it is in that 9th house of travel and long distance. So 17th, Mercury now retrograde back into Gemini, which will be from the 6th house back into the 5th house, where it has been earlier on there in May. And so this is going to allow you to look over creative projects and to wrap up any loose ends, maybe that you had in some kind of brainstorming session, to go back and grab those incredible good ideas, and so that you can bring them forward again, okay? This is going to behoove you in the outcome. So don't take that as somewhat of a frustration if you feel something slowing down or being delayed. It's all for the good, so you can recapture some of these little diamonds along the road that you didn't see while you were running. Put it that way. So we have a beautiful day on the 18th, Venus and Jupiter. That is love and abundance coming in, where you're gifting one another here. That could be verbally, and it could just be wonderful time shared. And for you, this is all going to be here in the 5th house, and then Jupiter, well, it's the 4th coming into the 5th house, and then Jupiter in the 6th. So family members sharing time spent together, being creative, loving, and expanding this area. Just a lot of fun and feeling jovial, hanging loose a little bit. So this is nice. And if you're traveling, this is a fantastic time for you to take a vacation, just because of, these transits are good, but you also have Mars now up there in that 9th house as well. So we have Venus moving into Gemini on the 23rd. That is back into that, into the 5th house from the 4th. So you're going to see where the Sun has been working now with creativity and children and self-expression. Venus is going to follow up on it and do even more so, because Venus loves this area here where it can just radiate and shine. And Venus is so creative as far as, music and painting and sculpting and dancing, singing, all those things that that Venus rules. So you'll just see that this too extended here from this day of the 23rd throughout the rest of the month and into July. Fun time to just hang loose and enjoy yourself. Then we end the month here with Mars and Uranus opposed to one another. So that's some kind of a rash decision or a needed decision to be made on the spur of the moment. There might be news coming out of the blue, and then you just have to act, and you kick into action really quickly here when Mars is with Uranus. But Mars also rules men, so you might see that some men around you might take some unexpected twist and turn here on the 25th. So Aquarius, this is what we have for you here in June, and we'll see you next month in July. And before you leave, do listen to your moon and your rising sign just to get another angle on what is going on in your chart, because that pertains to you too. All right? And I'll see you next month. Bye now.